Hello, and welcome to the quick video review for Wednesday the 18th of May. Okay, I'll quickly look at the cable first. We obviously didn't take a trade in the cable, unfortunately, because the cable found nicely for the day. I'll just grab it up so it's a bit bigger. We obviously had some buying coming into the market yesterday. I did say in yesterday's video that I thought we could push down to the downside today. The main reason, it was actually looking quite good for a short. We've come through these lines here. We come through these trend lines here. Sorry. The main reason I didn't get into a short with the cable, it was just simply because of the news. If I just quickly bring over the bus chart there. Obviously, it was moving slowly down. Everything was nice to have a stop up in this sort of area, and it was all moving nice and slowly down. The main reason was it was about the same time that we took the short trade on the euro. But by this sort of entry, I would have sort of waited for this area to be taken out anyway. This sort of entry, there was only 20 pips to the pivot, and my only thinking really was, well, we've got 20 pips that we could lock in before the pivot, but I didn't want to be involved in the news. And I mean, if we were involved in the news, obviously we would have been able to get out with a nice few 30-40 pips, about 30 pips probably profit before the news, and that would have probably taken out stops, because we would have had a stop tightened up before the news. But obviously it did carry on down. It was still a sell in this sort of area, even coming up to the S1. But the main reason at the time was just simply because I knew we had two items that could well cause a lot of volatility in the markets that it did. And it was just literally because I thought there's 20 pips there, and we had 30 pips on almost the same sort of trade on the euro, which obviously turned out really slow for us. So I'll just get rid of that one. And we go on to the euro. Okay, so our euro, we was looking to go short again. We've obviously come back up, but we're still taking lower lows and lower highs on the way down. If you see this, we're still actually making lower lows each time. So lower low, lower low, lower low. And then we come back here. This was an inside bar yesterday, and I still thought we had some scope to come down. Well, especially to come down in the morning. The initial trade was looking for a 30 pips as we took it at just after 7. So the initial look to me was to the downside, which of course it did go anyway. On the 4 hour, as we go into it more, we're still getting this nice sort of pattern, the price cyclicity coming down, pushed up, coming down, and I did think we were ready for another push here. We're still, if you look at these, we're still making lower highs. We're still, even now when the trend did go up in the end of the day, we're still making lower highs. So I thought we had a nice bit of scope to the downside, which we did indeed, and we took a short trade there, which actually did hit the target. Unfortunately, we played it a little bit tight. I'll just go over it. Of course, I'm going to record this one as a break-even trade. I know some people did take the full 60 pips out, and some people took some pips along the way. I'm going to record this as a break-even trade. So we had the signal here, and obviously I waited for this low to be taken out, so I was waiting to come in around this, nice and quiet, so it was a good signal to call in this quiet sort of area. We're still making lower highs all this time coming down, waiting to take this low out, and I decided to put the entry in at 1426 to 260. The pivot being almost 220 on the mark there, so I thought that's a good. I thought that's a good sort of risk reward. We got 40 to the pivot, and my initial target was 30 for 30, and I was going to obviously lock in break even. The reason I thought that, I thought we had a bit of this area here, see, that we haven't broken. I thought, well, what we'll do, we'll lock in break even when we hit the 20, and then obviously we look for the first target, and I was looking for 200. My main aim on that trade was 14,200. Of course, it went totally sideways. What I did, I actually monitored it in the end on the 15-minute chart, just because it was so slow on the 5-minute. It was just a little bit more easier to monitor on the 15. And of course, we had this bar just after. It still made a lower high though. We still didn't take this high out. So at this point, when we drove back down, I was still confident in the trade. Everything was still looking to the downside. We consolidated for a long time before we managed to take this low out. We took the low out, obviously giving us our 20 pips around this area, and it's come back up, and it's just nibbed us out, because I did say to lock in break even. Sorry, it was this area. We got down to the 238, so 1 pip, 2 pip max spread on the euro, and it's come back up here, and it's obviously just taken us out. Really frustrating, because this was 11 o'clock. We tend not to get quite so much volatility around this time, and our stop would have been better to hold there. And this is really why I want to get the audio in, so I can talk, because it was frustrating to see this trade just be stopped out. We still hadn't taken a high out, that it was still looking to the downside. As you can imagine, a line coming down there. We're still looking very much to the bearish side, even though it's very slow. We're still slowly making lower lows and coming down. That was the alarm, sorry, this line that I put in to remind me when to take this low out. And we've come all the way down to the pivot, and then we've drove down the pivot, and we've nicely hit the 200. Like I say, it's really frustrating, because that was the main target that I was going for in that trade, and that would have been a 60 pip profit for a 30 pip loss. Unfortunately, this trade will be break even, but these are the sort of trades that I want to look out for, and that I want to be taking, so we can get 2-to-1 risk. Obviously, you can have twice as many losers and still break even in the long run, but this was a frustrating one. And to be honest, if I was on the live feed where I could just talk, I would have told people to just hold the trade. But I did mention in the room that we'll take a free trade and lock in break even, and it's touched us literally by a pip, and that would have been a nice 60 pip winner. So frustrating, but we stick by the result, so that's recorded as a loser. But I just hope you can see that what we're trying to do, we're trying to get nice trades for 2-to-1, even 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. So it was a good trade, just unlucky that we got taken out there. And this one, I'll just go into my thinking of this trade. The card turned out slow. Again, we hit our fast profit target. To be honest, we should have, on a normal trading day, I would have said we should have taken 60 pips profit on the euro, and this would have been a break-even trade for me, because I just go into what I was thinking. On the weekly, we've obviously been a strong downtrend for the Canadian dollar. Come down to this, and then we've started making higher highs in the weekly, so that's a good sign that we're pushing up to the upside. On the daily, this is just something I drew earlier. We've taken out this fast resistance, and we've made higher highs coming up here on the daily. It's pulled back, and then it's pulled up, taking this high out again. This is indicating to me on simple price action that we are moving back up to the upside with the Canadian dollar. So this is what I drew. I drew this before the bar even touched that sort of area. Sorry, just as the bar touched that area, I drew that. So that's where I wanted my stop, just behind, and this is where I envisage it going in the future. So back up and taking out this high. I just thought this was a good risk to reward ratio, because we got in the trade with a boss signal at just 25 pips in this sort of area. I'll just squeeze this one down. We obviously, looking into the 4 hour, we had a lot of consolidation there. Obviously earlier we look at these bars, and we had a positive bar looking to the upside again here, so it all looked good for me to take a trade to the upside, and it looked like we had plenty of potential. We had the first target profit that we hit was on the pivot, which was this sort of area where we've had this high before, and this bar here. So we had a couple of pip points, not perfectly but touch it. So that was the initial target to lock in break even, and I really thought we could have a good run up here. What I would have done if we got above the pivot, I could have called a close to the trade if I seen a turn up there, but I really thought to go for this area here again. It would have been again a good risk to reward ratio. I'll just put go over the bar. I've been monitoring. I've been entering off the 5 minutes, but I've just been watching them off the 15 minutes because they were so slow. It's just a little bit easier to monitor. Okay, where did we take it? It was lunchtime, wasn't it? So we come in at the first boss signal, which was sorry, it was earlier than lunchtime, wasn't it? It was this first boss signal. Was it 11:20? We took it. It was 9722, I believe. It was this sort of area. Anyway, we've had a pullback down. Nothing to worry about. We had to stop well below 700. In fact, sorry, it was a lot earlier, wasn't it? It was before the lunch we took the trade. Sorry, we took the trade off this bar. So I was looking at this price action. Looking good for the upside. As I said, the stop was my the main reason for getting the trade, for getting the stop into such a nice position behind the 700, where we had a lot of support before. So it was a great stop to have. We broke out and we pushed up nicely to the upside. Obviously we've come back down to this sort of area to around break even minus a couple pip before it's drove up nicely. We're getting some nice sort of price action coming up. We've hit the pivot line, and you're going to expect it to stall a bit at the pivot anyway, and then it's drove up through and we've pushed up to with the spread about 30 pips profit before it's come back down. To be honest, like I say, this trade would have been for me a break even anyway. It could have been different if we took 60 off the euro. We may have decided to take 20 off this one, but I'll be honest, I was looking for more. I thought this had a lot of scope to the upside, but it's ended up stalling and slowly coming back down. I still think this 700 will hold, and we might see another move up to the upside tomorrow, but I did expect it once we closed through the pivot, especially when we closed on the 15 minute. I did expect this to be pushing up more, and I would have been looking. I was looking for just 92, but if we'd have got above the R1 and started to come down, then I would have called a close on the trade anyway. But I did expect us to at least go from pivot to R1. I thought we had a lot of scope for that. So that trade would have been a break even. But like I say, the euro just frustrating that we didn't take the 60 officially on that trade. But I hope you can see what we're trying to do. We're trying to take small risks for bigger rewards. But the trades will come, and we're slowly sorting out all the problems on the signal site, and hopefully I'll have the audio tomorrow if my voice holds up as well. You might be able to hear me, but we'll keep trading the way we're going, and we will start taking the pips. I mean, if we'd have hit both targets today, you can see we're risking 55 for up to 150. So that's the sort of risk reward we want to keep looking for. And when we do have the good days, obviously we're gonna fill the bank with pips. So keep watching the space, and we'll keep going as we're going, and I shall see you in the trading room tomorrow, hopefully with some volume.